All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Actually, no, we had to do this the right way. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. We're gonna talk
Hey
about this
guys, what's up?
epic video that was posted. Oh my God,
So epic. And it's
for
not going to OnlyFans, it's for free.
it's for free on IG, and you can totally. This is such a historic room, and this podcast, we're gonna talk about it today. Yeah, did you watch it?
I'm actually curious how many watch what?
Did you watch the sex tape of the century?
Sadly, yes, I dude, like I'm doing my usual, just scrolling down on Twitter, right? Next thing you know, I see a naked bareback literally
No.
just like bent down on a table and just getting pounded. I'm like, yo, I didn't want to see this. I didn't ask for this.
Nobody did. Nobody
And,
did.
and I sent it to you and you did not like it at all.
I was just like, what the fuck? No, because I hadn't seen it yet. Because so the night of, I was on Twitter scrolling and I was, doing my rounds, talking my shit. And I saw a post by, I think it was mostly Peaceful Latinos. I think they were like, at least I was in George Santos, or was it Laura Loomer? It was either Laura or
Oh,
Linda. And they posted it, and then I went back and I was like, wait a second. I was like, wait, what? What's going on? And then I saw Senate was trending on Twitter. I was like, that's weird. Senate, like, okay, is it like a Senate bill? Is it the NDAA? Like, okay, maybe. And then I click
mm,
on it and it's like I see people talking about this video and I'm like, wait a second, what? What's going on? So I click on Senate, it's like, holy shit. I see the photo. I saw, I'd never clicked the video because I'm like, I'm not watching that shit. I saw a video that's longer than like 5 seconds. That was like 10 seconds
uh-huh,
long. And I was like, I'm not
uh-huh.
watching that gay porn. Fuck that. But I saw like the
No,
photo of him like bend down on like with like a thong on like the table or some shit.
he has something. I don't remember what he had, but
I was
I
like,
don't know if I don't
bruh,
know if it was like a picture of something, but
it was a picture of him bending like bent over like on his fours like, and then I saw other like, and then I did some research into him obviously because I like followed the threads. And
what's
this
his name
dude,
again?
Aiden, Aiden,
Aiden Ross.
yeah, it's Aiden Ross. So Aiden Ross filmed a gay sex tape in the, I think this is the Judicial Senate, the Senate Judiciary committee hearing room. And as the guy even said, as Aiden even said in his own IG post, where he posted himself on all fours naked with a thong on one of the tables. He was like, "This is the place where we had the testimony for Soto Sotomayor, and we had the FBI Comey hearings, and totally a lot of other stuff." And I mean, my thing is like, who the hell hired this guy? And it had to be a
Yeah,
Democrat. It had to be a Democrat. When I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, this is
yeah,
thank
and
God."
there's no way a Republican will hire something like that.
Well, they're having gay sex, but in private, not at job. They're not at their job. They're doing it at their home.
Well,
Yeah. What do you think? What do you
yeah,
think they're the only ones not having? Do you think Democrats are the only ones having gay sex? Did you not see what Aiden
yeah.
posted on his like Reddit one time? He was in one of the
No.
Senate showers. He was in one of the Senate showers, I think naked, and he posted
Oh,
like a
didn't
thing
he?
of his ass, and he was like, "I'm waiting for you, Lindsey Graham."
Lindsey Graham. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
So yeah,
Okay,
what
no,
do
all
you think?
right.
You
I
think Lindsey
okay,
didn't
yeah.
go there? You don't think Lindsey went?
No, no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And then there was another one where this congressman has like hand on the table, and he was like right next to it, I guess, because he was like, so I think the congressman is like, I think he's like, on like standing over the table, not over the table, like I guess like he's sitting at the table, and the congressman puts his hand down or something, or like something like that, and he just like, oh my God, he like adds or like writes the name of the congressman, and he's like, I really want to suck those thick fingers. Yeah, he writes
Oh,
those juicy, thick fingers. I really had to like resist the urge to suck on your juicy, thick fingers. And I'm like, yeah, okay, this is insane. This is insane.
it is insane.
So Aiden Ross was a Democratic staffer for Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland, who's a Democrat, who is retiring after this term. And
Oh,
yeah, and he's been asked, and all they've said and what they're gonna say is no comment, no comment, no comment. The guy's been fired, and he's already posted a statement on why he was fired. I'm just gonna sum it up. He's blamed his firing and whatever transpired on homophobia. He's saying that the reaction caused his firing because it's homophobic. It's not that what he did. So effectively, his thing is that you guys fired me because you're anti-gay because I had gay sex. It's like no, that's not why we fired
Anti-gay.
you.
What?
No, he didn't say that. I'm just saying the gist of his message is you guys are homophobic. That was the gist of his message. Why he was fired.
Okay,
And
so what if we're homophobic? Duh.
well, that's one thing, but the other thing is like that isn't why you're being fired. You're being fired because you've had sex at a job. That's why you're getting fired. And because okay, the question is if he's straight and if he's having sex with a girl or something or whatever, does he still get fired? Yeah, of course he still gets
He will
fired.
still get fired. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like we're not angry that you've been we're not angry that you had gay sex. We're angry that you had sex and you ruined um
Yahoo.
and pretty
Yeah,
much
any of this is not even professional. You can do all that at home, but you're doing this in the hearing room. And on top of the openly, um, wasn't it again Aiden just like posted on Instagram too? So
just the fact that he did it, he used his boss's name to rent or like make the room private just for his use. So you can schedule the room and like book it for your own private use, I guess. And he did that under the senator's name, and then had gay sex there. And I guess good question would be: is this the first time it's happened? Is this the first time he's had gay sex in those hearing rooms? This is the room where the 9/11 Commission was founded. It was the hearings where James Comey gave testimony against Donald Trump, where just a bunch of things that happened in that room, and it's just insane. It's just insane. So I think he has a let's see, he has a statement. Just give me your thoughts real quick while I find the statement on
I mean,
all.
the only funny part with this whole situation is the fact that he posted on IG, like literally the whole thing posted on IG. Um, and then there was I don't know if you mentioned this, but he also posted something about I'm waiting for you, Lindsey
Yeah, we
Graham.
just talked about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
right.
So I got the statement
Um,
here. It's this has been a difficult time for me as I've been attacked for who I love to pursue a political agenda. While some of my actions in the past have shown poor judgment, I love my job and I would never disrespect my workplace. Any attempts to characterize my actions otherwise are fabricated, and I will be exploring what legal options are available to me in these matters. As for the accusations regarding Congressman Max Miller, I have never seen the congressman, and I've had no opportunity or cause to yell or confront him. So pretty much he's saying that I've been attacked because I love men. Instead of
sometimes I question about you.
what, these accents?
Yeah,
Well, you gotta make it realistic because he
it's pretty
apparently talks
accurate.
like that. Yeah, it was accurate. Yeah, that's the point. I'm a
I get,
real journalist.
no, you're a real homo.
Yeah, well, perhaps. But uh, and he's also like he was one of the rumored aides that or someone a rumored like staffer for a Democrat who yelled "Free Palestine" at Max Miller, who was a congressman as well, who's from Israel apparently, or not Israel, but he's Jewish. And they're saying that allegedly he was the one who yelled "Free Palestine" at this congressman.
Oh, okay,
Wouldn't
okay.
surprise me. I mean, they're saying that that's him. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say yes that it was. But it's just outrageous the fact that he would literally come out here and say, "Oh, you guys are attacking me because I'm gay." It's like, no, we're attacking you because you filmed a sex tape in a Senate hearing room and publicized it. And not only that, you have prior evidence. There's prior evidence that you are an unhinged, mentally ill person. I mean, when you're pretty much, and it's not that he's gay. It's like, okay, if you hired a worker,
No,
right?
he's gay.
It's not just no. I'm not saying that like that's not the only problem, but the other problem
No,
is that
yeah.
is like if you had a worker where you work, for example, like let's say where you work, one of the guys who drives the cars around. Okay, let's assume that he's jerking off in the car and making videos of it. and it gets found out. That's a problem.
That's a
That's
problem.
a problem. And the thing is that you can do that in your home. So I don't really care what he does. If he does if Aiden has sex with dudes or is getting fucked or fucks a guy, whatever the hell he wants to do, after his job, after his shift, and he does it at I don't care where, but outside of his job place, that's not a problem. I don't care because nobody's gonna know. We wouldn't know. We wouldn't even know who this guy is. We wouldn't be talking about it. If you were having like, let's just say you had an affinity for midgets. You liked fucking midgets. As long as you're not doing it at your job, I really don't care.
Right, right,
Exactly.
right.
That's the thing. It's like it doesn't matter what you like as long but when you blur that line and assume that okay, my sexuality because it's my identity, because that's also the problem here, that they've turned gender and sexuality into not just a classification of who they are, but
Hmm.
effectively everything they are. So
Hmm.
because he's gay, he has to be gay in everything he does. He has to be a gay driver, a gay man, a gay filmer, a gay everything. Everything he does is gay because he's also sex crazed. He's like a sex crazed gay man, which is the two worst things.
Right.
Like that's the stereotype of them.
It is. Yeah.
So it's like he's bringing that's kind of like I think that's what I from what I've heard from people. That's like the beginning of noticing that yeah, you have a problem. You have a mental problem. You have an addiction problem. You're addicted to sexual things. He probably has like a sex addiction
It
because
probably does. Yeah.
he's blurring the line and taking his personal sex adventures and fantasies into his workplace when there should be a line. What you do in your home
Hmm.
is what you do. You don't do that at your workplace.
Well, you also see that with instance with teachers who openly talk about their sexual behaviors in front of students.
Yeah,
It's like don't yeah.
it's
So
wrong.
it is wrong. Yeah, for sure.
It would be wrong if a female teacher is telling her students like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I like doggy style and I want it this way." Like that would be wrong. You guys
It
should
would be
learn how to suck dicks and shit. Like if a female teacher was teaching her female students how to suck dick, that would be a problem.
right,
Yeah,
right.
but nowadays everything's become so identity driven that and also victimized that he thinks he's a victim because he can't be criticized because he's gay.
Hmm.
Anything he does is protected, or because he's black, he can't do anything wrong, or because he's trans, he can't do anything wrong. Like these people are now believe that oh, we're protected. We are people that suffer. We're oppressed. That justifies everything we do as a act of resistance. In their minds, that's kind of how it does. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have sex in this room because they can't tell me shit. Like in his mind, he probably thought he wasn't gonna get in trouble because he thought this was like an act of me just being me. This is me being me. But you being you, you like girls with big tits. You're not gonna suck on big tits at your job. That's just not even though that's you.
Even though I want to, I can't do it at my job.
Exactly. Even though you want to, you just don't. That's the thing. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not about
exactly.
because you're a straight guy. It's because that's not what you do at your job. It's called decency. It's called like having a brain that functions. But these people are so like mentally unstable and underdeveloped and just autistic almost that they just don't know how to make good decisions. It's just insane to me that they can also come around and say, "Oh, you're oppressing me. You're racist or a xenophobe. You're xenophobic because how dare you?" Or homophobic because how dare you
Yeah,
attack me? I'm a gay person. It's like no, just because you're gay doesn't mean you're above the law or above the rules.
yeah. He probably felt that since now he's had. It's like they feel like they have the kind of privilege.
Yeah,
You know how they
exactly,
always talk about white privilege,
exactly.
and that right, and then now since they're gay or black or anything like that, they feel like they have that some sort of like underlying privilege. No, yeah, it is pretty mental
Yeah,
doing
it's
all this stuff.
mental, and nobody wants to address that part. Nobody wants to address that part. And
No, no,
then
nobody.
yeah, and then the second thing that bothered me was like I don't know if you saw the headline by NBC where effectively they wrote, uh, a Senate Democratic staff aide allegedly had a sex tape. Conservative outlets alleged did you see that headline by NBC on this. It was like that the conservative media outlets. I don't even know what that means.
I thought they were dead. I thought NBC was dead.
Yeah, well, soon. And then it's like I'm gonna look it up right here. So, Senate staffer alleged by conservative outlets to have had sex in a hearing room is no longer employed. I mean, that's just completely wrong. It's not alleged that he did it. It's that he did it.
Yeah,
It's him.
it's out there.
It's
Yeah.
him exactly. And also, if it was just alleged, why would they fire him? Almost immediately. He was fired in within that 24-hour span. He wasn't fired today. He was fired, I think, Friday or Saturday. He was fired like within 24 hours of this coming out and becoming viral.
When did he, oh, okay. Wait, so when did he post to that IG
I don't
video?
know. I don't know that timeline. I just know that it happened. But in terms of like when it got out was this weekend. So Friday.
Uh, uh, uh,
So
I'm
Friday.
assuming it, okay, yeah, I'm assuming it probably like came out like the same week,
Right.
something like that. I don't know.
Right. So Friday into the weekend that was news, and he was fired. I think Saturday. I found out Saturday he was fired. Like it was it. And
I believe so, yeah.
right. And so, but the fact that the media came out and said, "Oh, this is just conservatives being conservatives, accusing us of things," it's like, wait a second. No, it's not alleged. There's video evidence that this happened. Video evidence. How dare you say alleged in conservative media outlets? You see what they're trying to do. They're trying to delegitimize it by saying it's alleged because we don't believe it because there's no evidence, and then they're saying it's conservative media outlets to say, oh, don't believe them. They're conservative outlets. They don't matter. They can't be honest to you. We're honest. That's complete bullshit.
Well, there's a reason why nobody watches NBC.
Yeah, nobody's watching NBC except for me. Except for me and
Gross.
Aiden. Yeah, except for me and Aiden. Me
What,
and Aiden
what,
are watching.
what a loser.
Yeah, me and Aiden, my bestie. Aiden, my bestie.
Well, good luck to their gay future. I don't know.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, I forgot the other thing. So I didn't realize that he wasn't the one being fucked, as in like America being fucked. He was fucking the guy.
Oh, he was doing that? Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
he
he
was
was
sitting. Yeah, he
receiving.
recorded it. No, he wasn't receiving. Not in this video. So
So did they mention who was receiving?
yeah, a German foreign, like I guess someone who works for he's like a German agent or something, or like a German foreign like worker. Like he's not even from America. He works for like the German diplomatic team, I guess, for the
Oh,
German
it's a
diplomatic
spy.
corps. Yeah,
It's a spy.
he's fucking a German spy who turns out to be gay, which is insane to me. I mean, not the first time
Oh
we
my God.
yeah, so obviously um this whole thing though is a metaphor. I mean, America under Joe Biden fucked. Gaily fucked.
Did you saw Ian Smith post on IG?
No, what is it? What do you do?
He said you guys are worrying about like two gay guys screwing each other in the hearing room, but these senators have been fucking us over for years.
Oh, I've seen a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's true though. Yeah, it's like, and then
Yeah, it
it's
is
also
true.
the
Yeah.
fact that like they spent the entire 2020 campaign saying decency is on our side. We need to
He's
be,
on our side.
and then but they have these influencers showing their tits, and then they
The
have this,
adults are back in the job.
but then you have Joe Biden shitting his pants and walking off stage, sniffing little girls, telling them, telling literally like 13-year-old girls saying, "Call me when you're a little bit older.
Call me when you're 18 or something
Call me
like
when
that.
you're like, call me in a few years." I think he told one of them that he wanted to see them on a pole. Do you remember that one?
No, what the
What?
hell?
Yeah, he said that he wanted to see them on a pole, something like that. He was like, yeah, something along those lines. And then obviously this gay sex tape. And which was the other one I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, did you see that ghetto ass Christmas music video?
Yeah, I saw that. There was like
Oh, I
no
was
white people
like,
at all.
oh, of course not. Of course not. They're the ones holding the door. They're not talented enough to do whatever the hell that is.
Here you go, guys. We'll give you some spotlight. And after that, it's our turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, you can't be in it here. You can't be white. Imagine though. It's like, oh my lord. What was the point of
It
that?
was pretty. It was pretty cringe.
It was cringe as
I'm
hell.
not. I'm not saying because of Democrats. Even if a Republicans doing that, I would find that so cringe.
But Republicans would never do it. That's the craziest part, right? It's like
Yeah, they won't do
we
it.
would
Yeah,
never. I mean, I don't know. Ron DeSantis, I'm afraid, would do something extremely cringe. But can we
just
just go
keep it
back to the
short and sweet.
days like when we did a Christmas video and talked about Christmas and what Christmas was about and why Christmas is
Yeah,
awesome and, had
yeah,
pretty women like Melania with class and elegance, not showing her their ashy ass thighs.
yep,
Can we go back
yep.
to that? Or no, is that too much to ask for? Like we can't have that.
I think in this day and age, it's too much to ask for,
It's too much to ask for. It's insane.
and it's pretty sad.
Yeah, it's insane.
Bringing some good Christmas theme with some gingerbread cookies, a gingerbread house, a big Christmas tree. Uh, add some fake snow in the White House, and that's it. That's
But
all
let's
you
move
gotta
on
do.
to let's move on to I mentioned this tweet to you just like a couple minutes ago or like an hour ago. Rashard Mendenhall, who was a running
Yeah,
back for the Steelers.
when you message me, you put Richard Mendenhall, like, and
Oh, who
I'm
cares
looking for
anymore?
it, but I didn't see it.
Oh, who cares?
I'm like, oh, I'm assuming it's Rashard.
Yeah, Rashard Mendenhall. Did you read the tweet? Did you find it?
Um, I didn't see the full tweet, but someone mentioned it
So I'll just
on
read
the
it to you right
comments,
here. I'll read it to you right here. So
and I checked the article, so yeah,
let me
it's
just read it right
pretty
here.
dumb.
Let me just read it right here. I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all not even good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good at football? I'm better than your GOAT. Um,
Who is your GOAT?
I'm
Oh,
assuming that
Tom Brady?
everybody's just, I don't know the context of this. Is he mad because Christian McCaffrey is like the best running back in the NFL and he's white?
Oh, is that what he's talking about?
I don't
I
know.
was
I'm just
assuming
assuming.
Tom Brady.
No. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Mm,
And then again,
mm,
first off, to say you're better than your go what Tom Brady? Let's just assume he's talking about Tom Brady, which he isn't. I don't think so. That's completely ridiculous. That's completely
mm.
ridiculous. And I mean, I'm like, see, I knew who he was before this because when the Packers won, like, he got lit up by a white guy in the Super Bowl versus the Packers,
I don't even
Clay
know
Matthews.
who he is.
Yeah, he
Never
was
heard
running
of him.
back for the Steelers, and he got lit up by a white dude, a white blonde dude in the Super Bowl, Clay Matthews, who played for the Packers, and he fumbled the ball, and that kind of led to the Steelers losing the Super Bowl. So to me, I'm like, wait a second, a white dude lit you up so hard you fumbled the ball, and you're bitching about because you're saying you're like white guys can't play. That because that's the gist of his tweet. His gist of his tweet is saying black people are way better than white people at football, so y'all can't talk about football because we're better, which is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. It's completely ridiculous.
I don't see a point of a Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl.
Of course, there's no point of any game of all white of all black. There is no point.
Yeah, I don't
He's
see
just
a
being
point at all.
racist. There's no even like
It's like
don't even waste time looking for a point. There is none. There can't be. See,
it's
it's him just saying it's him being mad that there's white people that are good at a sport and he believes that white people suck. He doesn't like white people. That's the gist of it, which is ridiculous. It's like, dude, what? This is a
it looks
guy
pretty racist.
who lives a way better life because there's a sport called football. And that's all he did. He's not a hero. He's not heroic. He's not brave. He's not tougher than the average person. He played a sport, and good for him. All respect to him. I can't play football. I'm not good at football. I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying that to pretend that you're this ultra human, more virtuous, that you have a right to say that, oh yeah, you can't do this. You can't criticize me. What? What are you talking about? Like, it's ridiculous. Like these athletes nowadays, they feel like they're above reproach because if you don't play football, you can't criticize me. Did you know that some of the people that invented these games didn't play football? Do you know that the guy who signed your checks didn't play football? So the
Mm.
hunt, so the Steelers, the owners of the team don't play football. They don't, but they pay you. So do they not have so do they not pay the Rooney family? Does the Rooney family not have a right to negotiate contracts with you because they didn't play football? They don't know what they're talking about. So they shouldn't pay you. It's completely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So um everybody in the comments of this tweet has been pretty much like saying, "Yeah, you fumbled, like you fumbled this post." One of them says, "You fumbled this post like a Super Bowl carry." Someone just like posted a picture like, "This you? You're black, right? Just checking." And then remember when the Steelers lost the Super Bowl because of what Clay Matthews did to you? Yeah, I saw that Super Bowl. I remember that Super Bowl. We were in CJAX when that Super Bowl played. I remember that. Everybody was
Oh, okay.
invested in it. Yeah. We were all talking. That's what the black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. And so it's like, okay, great. He won a Super Bowl. He played in a Super Bowl. And Christian McCaffrey is not like a white dude. Dude, this did he not this is how you can tell he just hates white people or he's jealous or he's hating on Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was a Pro Bowl caliber back when he was in Carolina for those ass Carolina Panthers teams. He was just injured often because he was pretty much carrying that team. That's what happened.
hmm
I mean, like, did he not see that? He was always this good. He's not just a product of the Kyle Shanahan. He's a perfect fit for the Shanahan offense in San Francisco, but he's really good. So now he's like, oh, he's just mad that there's a white guy playing good. It's ridiculous because imagine a white guy said that. Imagine a white guy said, oh, I'm better than your GOAT, Tyreek Hill. We should have an all whites versus all blacks Pro Bowl because y'all black people shouldn't comment on football because they can't read. It's like, what? Like that would be racist too. I'd be saying the exact damn thing because it is racist and unnecessary. And it just speaks of hatred, just like and also it's so ignorant and stupid. Like, what? Why? Like, dude, you're better than this, to be honest. Like, I don't understand what the hate is. Where's the hate coming from? Because
Where did it
Christian
even came
McCaffrey's
from?
white? No,
Uh,
where's the hate coming from? Like, because Christian McCaffrey's white? I really hate these just gender. It's not even the boomers. People blame the boomers, but these are like millennials. These are millennials, Gen Xers. They're fucking pathetic, man.
mhm.
They're so fucking triggered by like race and gender. It's like why in a black like a 40 he's like a 40-year-old black guy. White people are the enemy to him, even though white people have made him a millionaire. It's fucking ridiculous. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. But guess what? He's married to a white woman.
Of course. I just,
Exactly. So what have I always told you? These guys, these dudes, they want to fuck white women, but they want to shit on white men. That's what they want to do because I don't for no damn dumb for no reason.
ah, man.
It's fucking ridiculous to me.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that really pisses me off. Yo, his stats are really disgusting too.
No, he's only known for
Not really
being
that good either.
he's really only known for in the Super Bowl for winning us. I think he won a Super Bowl with the Steelers. That's all he's known for. He's not known for being an amazing. No, Christian McCaffrey is 50 times 50% better. 50 times better than this guy. Just it just is.
In 2000 in 2008, his rushing yards were 58. What was he injured?
I don't fucking know. I mean, I think he was like a fullback. I don't even think he was a complete running back. I think he was like a fullback or something. Or
Okay. I mean,
I
2010,
don't know.
1,273. Well, it's
Not bad, but like
better than any other years.
yeah, he had one good year. That's it. One good year.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old. He won the Super Bowl. What? He won the Super Bowl with the Steelers in 2008 or what? 2000 in 2008. So his rookie year, pretty much. He went to Illinois. He was a good player in college, but he just, just not that guy in the NFL. I think it's just because of injuries. I think so. He fumbled.
Well,
Yeah, he fumbled a lot.
well, I'm happy that most of the people in his comments are against his.
Yeah, and in the replies, yeah, they're all like, "Yeah, you suck,
Yeah,
asshole. What the
exactly.
fuck?"
Yeah, 'cause normally you would see the opposite.
But
Oh yeah, white people this,
this
white
tweet
people
has
that.
39.8 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like,
He also said, simply tired of being braided by people who aren't experts in the game. We just pretend like I'm the only athlete tired of fans talking trash. I'm just normal. You just upset over a single tweet. What about us? Like me or not? I'm a great in football. This proves my point. You can't speak on ball alone.
So I'm like, who is he attacking with the average white guys? Is it like Pat McAfee?
I don't even know.
I just don't get it. Okay, like let's just
You're
think of the
this
white dudes
upset
that
over
are
a
like
single tweet. What about us?
Travis Kelsey is gonna be is arguably by the end of his career could be the best tight end of all time. He could be the best tight end of all time. You know who's also one of the top tight ends of all time? Rob Gronkowski.
Was Travis always really that good?
He was good, but then when Patrick Mahomes came, who was more talented than Alex Smith, he exploded. But that's just the
Oh, okay.
talent was there.
I thought Travis got better because of Taylor Swift.
No, 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 stop. But then when you look at a guy like Cooper Cup, who plays for the Rams, he is an excellent wide receiver. Excellent wide receiver. So what? He's like what are you talking about? He is extremely good. He's won a Super Bowl, Cooper Cup. Like
Mhm.
it's ridiculous to even assume that, he can't be that good, like, average white guys. It's like, what?
Oh wow, someone just roasted him. Delete this, little bro. You fumbled the biggest. Wait, I think you said this one. You
Yeah,
fumbled the biggest moment
he
of your life,
fumbled a
and now
big
you're
time
getting
moment in the
double
Super Bowl.
ratioed.
And now he's
It's
talking about average white guys can't talk about because okay, so the best running back in the NFL is white. Like there's a top 10, top 5 quarterback, Josh Allen in the NFL. Let's just say in the past 3 years, Josh Allen has been a top 5 quarterback. He's white. He plays for Buffalo. Cooper Cup, top 5 receiver in the league in the last 3 years, 3 to 4 years. You have to acknowledge these things. I get it. You're black and you want black people to be better than whites because you have a eternal anger at white people for I get it. 200 years ago, you assume your ancestors were on slave ships and then brought to the United States and were enslaved. That happened, but you assume your ancestors were one of them. You assume because you don't know. You could
Mhm.
turn out to be
No, they
Jamaican.
don't know.
You could turn out to be just like Kamala Harris and just turn out to be Jamaican and not even have to endure American slavery. She's half Indian, half Jamaican. Remember, that's why
Oh,
she's black.
maybe
She's half Indian, half Jamaican.
we don't know. Maybe his ancestors owned slaves before.
Yeah, you never know. Or I'm just saying, like, didn't experience slavery in America. Like, oh, American slaves. Like, dude, your parents, you're not from here. That's
Yeah,
my point. But it's also like I've noticed this about like NFL athletes nowadays. It's like they want to be NBA players, sensitive, overpaid, and just bitchy all the time. You can't critique them. They are divas. They get
yeah. You always
sensitive.
see that a lot. You never see them try to become the very best. They just sit there and just like complain, and then think that they can just make millions off of that.
It's like it,
Just like
it
Kaepernick.
it's they want to like bitch about their own sport and degrade the sport and the athletes that they play with. And dude, what if Christian McCaffrey came and said, "Oh yeah, no, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm better than any black running back." They would say that he's
Yo,
racist.
yo, people will
They
get
would
at him.
freak out. If he said that, yeah, I'm proving here that only the white people can run the ball. No, dude, everybody that knows Christian McCaffrey, including people like Shannon Sharp, Michael Irving, Deion Sanders, all these great athletes, everybody says the same thing about Christian McCaffrey. He is a nice ass dude, the
Mhm.
nicest guy ever. Everybody says it. Oh yeah, he's nice, he's humble, he's cool. And you got this dude just shitting like attacking me. I'm assuming because I don't know. I don't know because I don't understand why you would be angry at a white
Oh,
running back that's white. That's what I'm assuming.
I see the picture of the fumble that you're talking about,
Yeah, yeah, he fumbled the
and yeah,
ball.
that's hilarious.
Clay Matthews just destroyed the shit out of him, and he fumbled the ball. So I just want to talk about those comments because
I
that's
do
getting
like
on
this.
my nerves.
No, yeah, no, it is annoying. Yeah, no, I'm happy I saw this tweet because he said it's okay, just blame it on CTE, like you guys love to do when you ruin your life.
Bruh, that's crazy. That's wild. That's wild.
It's so funny. Oh man. Well, let's see who's next.
Yeah.
bitching and
Let's get
complaining.
into the John Fetterman. So
Oh,
Fetterman's come out.
my favorite senator.
Yeah, Fetterman's becoming your. Who's my favorite senator? Oh, John Kennedy. That's my favorite senator. That's why.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, John. He's my yeah. But my next favorite is John Fetterman. I mean, Fetterman. I get it. Like he's a Democrat still. He believes in abortions and you know can't talk to save his life. But he's been, I think, becoming the fan favorite of the Republican establishment. Not the MAGA only, but just because he did vote to protect the FBI and he's voted to extend the NDAA. He believes in that all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, he's going to be a Republican now. Like some
yeah,
conservatives
no,
who are like,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
he's not on the MAGA bandwagon. He just agrees on two things. He agrees on let's just say three things. This would where what I'm about to show, and then immigration, and he's pro-Israel, which we'll get into later. But I want to show a video here um, about exactly what we're talking about because
Has anyone from his party said anything about him being pro-Israel?
People have complained. I don't think people in the party haven't looked into that, but people have complained effectively saying that, hey, why all of a
Well,
sudden,
they probably talked to him in privately.
yeah, you know how that goes.
That is not John Fetterman,
That's John Fetterman, dude. That's his bald ass head.
dude.
You
I
don't
don't
see the
know.
smoke coming on top of his head? Look at all that smoke coming out of his head on the
I mean, he
top.
does have a bump on that left side of the head.
Yeah, that's where that's yeah. All right, let's take a listen to what he says here. This is about U.S.
Good.
Steel uh, potentially being bought out by a Japanese company in the coming days and nearing a sale, which would mean that U.S. Steel, the pretty much a world-renowned and historically significant company, would be under the control of a foreign company, company or foreign nation for the first time in 122 years. So the company's 122 years old, and this would be pretty much huge. So let's just play the video right here.
I'm standing on the roof of my home right here in Braddock, Pennsylvania, right across the street from the Edgar Thompson plant. And I just have to say it's absolutely outrageous that they have sold themselves to a foreign nation and a company. Can't do that. Steel is always about security as well too. And I am committed to doing anything I can do from using my platform or my position in order to block this. And I'm going to fight for the steel workers and their union way of life here as well too. And we cannot ever allow them to be screwed over or left behind.
Yo, you got
Nah,
the
man,
same
that's not him.
grammar as you got the
That's not
same
him.
dude. You got the same grammar as John Fetterman.
Wait, what?
You got the same grammar as John Fetterman,
Kill yourself. That is not him.
bro. That's him.
No, he didn't even fumble his words.
What do you
You know
mean?
how he
Yeah, see,
is.
see, that's how I know that you guys have the same.
He
What do you mean he didn't
he
fumble his
always
words? That was some of the
you know
worst
how he is.
grammar.
He always
That was some of the worst grammar I've heard in my life,
this guy always fumbles and stutters his words.
dude.
You know him.
Dude, that was some of the worst grammar in my life. I know you didn't notice it because you used the same type of grammar, but that was horrible. Steel is also security as well too. What? What? How is that a sentence? How is that a sentence?
Nah, man, this guy's a fraud.
So this is in response to effectively news that um, Nippon Steel, a Japanese company, is going to acquire U.S. Steel for 14.1 billion dollars. The
Mm.
deal ends month-long sales process for a 122-year-old company created by J.P. Morgan and Andrew Carnegie. U.S. Steel
Oh, okay.
effectively was at the height of the Cold War. U.S. Steel was the largest steel manufacturer and refiner in the world. Most of the world's steel came out of Pennsylvania. That's how significant U.S. Steel is. At the height of the Cold War,
Wow.
most of the world's steel came out of places like Easton, most importantly Bethlehem. You know the casino in Bethlehem. That's
Yeah,
pretty
been
much
there.
one of the big plants of steel that came out of, which employed thousands of people in just an entire area that worked there. And effectively, that's pretty much going to be done. I mean, U.S. Steel would make Nippon Steel, already one of the world's largest steel makers, into the top suppliers of the American auto industry. It would give the Tokyo-based company access in the United States to specialized steel used in electric vehicle motors, along with steel used in appliances and construction materials. The deal Monday ends a months-long sales process for U.S. Steel, which has been evaluating various offers for its business since August. Yeah, no, this was a company that was incredibly had a huge integral role in the industrialization of the United States. It made steel far more accessible, cheaper, and um, it looks that it's going to close soon. And even though it's going to retain its name, um, it would pretty much take away our access to these materials. It would now be in the hands of a
Yeah.
Japanese company, which allegiance to Japan. I think what he's saying is, when we have over 11,000 workers who are unionized as well, and the United States government isn't being informed in the fact that U.S. Steel, one of the biggest steel makers in the world, isn't being informed, or we're not making an effort for an American company to buy it out. I think he's
Mhm.
right when, that's a thing that we sort of lose in terms of globalism that people don't understand. These new business leaders that come from East Asia, like China, Taiwan, India, especially those two big ones, they don't understand things like unions. They don't understand things like overtime pay. They don't really comprehend things like, bonuses and days off and 401k plans. I've seen it. And this isn't really a racial thing. I've just seen it. It's a clash of cultures that
Yeah.
you don't have
Right.
that in other cultures. We're one of the
Mhm.
we're the biggest country, obviously, so we're the more significant example. But outside of the West, it's not really a big deal it's not a thing. It doesn't exist. In India, there it's not a common for a company to offer you a private pension, a 401k match program, or to have extended vacation days, to have a union rights. That's not a thing. So Fetterman's coming from the angle of, yeah, I want to protect U.S. Steel because I want to protect the workers. And Trump's
Yeah.
coming at it and saying, I want to protect U.S. sovereignty and the ideals of the United States of having the ability to manufacture and produce steel for its own country. But we're just selling it off to a Japanese company that's now going to be able to control the steel for autos, for cars, that market, which is like just a material supply, like sub market. They're going to control the steel for appliances, and they're going to control the steel for construction. So all of those things is going to be under control of a Japanese company instead of an American company that you would assume would always have the nation's interest at heart too. Now it's not. It's going to be owned by a corporate Japanese company. Even though Japan is our ally, I mean, that'll be
Yeah.
short lived in the next 30 years. But
Yeah. It's not gonna
even
be that
though it's an
long.
ally, it just takes away from this culture we had of the United States. I mean, just think about it. 60 years ago, U.S. Steel was the biggest manufacturer of steel in the world. And it's just 60 years later, it's being sold off to a Japanese company. That's the end. I mean, we're talking about J.P. Morgan, Carnegie. We're talking about one of the core foundations of U.S. industrialization, what made us what we are today. And it's gone. We no longer have
Would
it
this also allow them to create to build their own warehouses or factories in their homeland
in their homeland or in Japan.
in Japan?
Well, they were able to access what we have. So they've now bought out not what we have as a country, but the company. So U.S. Steel makes specialized steel also, not just generic steel beams, but it makes specialized steel products that they probably don't make or they don't know how to make.
Okay.
Now they can make them. They don't not just know how
Okay.
to make them. They'll find out how to make them. They'll know how to make them, but they'll have
Just
access
gotta
to the
learn.
already made products and they can sell them and it'll profit Japanese investors, not American
Mm.
investors.
Mm.
But it's just
Right.
sad because they never talk to the union workers, they never talk to the workers. And again, that's why I said, foreign companies don't really understand unions, they don't understand benefits, they don't understand, 1 hour break times. There's this incredible documentary, I forget the name of it, but there was like a movie or documentary of pretty much a Chinese company buys out a warehouse or a factory in Indiana or something, or Ohio, and the people there, it's a complete culture shock. People used to have 1 hour breaks. Now it's being reduced to 5 or
Yeah,
10 minute breaks.
that's
But that's what's
horrible.
coming to us because these cultures, they don't believe in any of that. They don't believe in breaks. They don't believe in, unions. They don't believe in, personal PTI. You're not going to be able to call out for dinner on Saturday under a Chinese or Indian boss. You're not. They're going to be like, I don't care. I'm going to call out for. I can have dinner. They don't give a shit about you. Like, you're a worker. Who cares? I can find another one of you. Because in their countries, that's the assumption. There's just so many people that need a job. And also, remember, these are authoritarian countries that they come from. In their
How
minds,
does
they're
deals work like this? If you're making a deal with a foreign country, would they have to go through like the state or
no,
uh or the
they go to the
federal or
vendor. No, they go to the vendor. So what they're doing here is that they're buying out the company. They go to the board of directors of this company and they present a deal. They're saying, we're going to buy you out at, like Elon did. We're going to buy you out at this share price, or we're going to buy the majority shares in this at this price. And then obviously that has to be approved by a regulatory. So the SEC or something has to come in and regulate that deal to see that legal practices were done, that legal things were done, that there wasn't insider trading, that there wasn't insider findings, that there wasn't like foul play, that the contracts are legit, that there isn't fraud.
okay,
That's how it would work. But in
okay.
terms of like, can you do this? No, that doesn't really happen. Because remember, this isn't like we're not a totalitarian country that, like, let's say Venezuela or Cuba, that has market controls. We don't have market controls like they do, where they can decide who buys or who has anything. So in Cuba, yeah, you can build a house, but if the government deems that you don't have a right to that house, or that you don't need that house, they'll come and take it away.
That's
They'll say you
fucked.
can't do that. Or in China, they'll say you can't buy this business because it's not what we want to do now, and you can't. That's it. So I mean, those countries, that's how they work. But that's different for us. It's kind of interesting to me, this
Okay.
turn of Fetterman. I mean, he's been over these, like, every other month he comes and has like this revelation, I guess, where all of a
Hmm.
sudden he's talking about, economic. This is pretty much economic nationalism, saying, I
Hmm.
want an American company to be run by Americans because it's crucial to American security, and it kind of is. And he has
Yeah.
a point when he says that. He just doesn't know how to say it. I mean, when you say that, when you come out and say steel is also is security also in a way. I'm like, you're saying he didn't stumble his words. That's horrible grammar. I mean, come on now. Like that's the worst grammar sentence structure I've ever heard in my life.
Because I was too busy worrying about his fumbling and his stuttering.
No, it still was horrible.
that's his main thing.
Everything's bad.
Oh, Fetterman.
Yeah, but it's surprising because he also came out the other day saying, you know what? He had an interview, I think, or he replied to a comment or something, where he pretty much said that, yeah, you know what? I'm not a progressive. I'm going to be on the right of some issues. He's pro-Israel. He's not in favor of Hamas. The progressives hate him for that. They're like, I thought you would be on
Yeah, he's
Hamas,
gotten a lot of
on the
backlash for that. Yeah.
Palestinian side. Yeah, I thought Fetterman would be on the Palestinian side, and he's saying, you know what? No, I'm not. I don't like what Hamas did. I don't like the atrocities they've committed. I guess in his understanding of the conflict, he believes that Israel has not only a right to defend itself, but is doing the right thing because he has come out very pro-Israel.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if it's because his dad was involved in the insurance industry in New York City, because his parents were rich. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he's involved with the pro-Israel. And also what's also surprising is that
Oh, that is
he's
interesting,
pro
actually.
immigration reform. He's very pro immigration reform. That's what's surprising to me. Um, he's been talking about that we need to get something done at the border, that it's unsustainable, and that he's going to effectively work with Republicans to reform the immigration system so I guess we don't have all these people coming in because that's unsustainable, things like that. And then there was people like Newsweek saying, oh, he's contradicting his wife because his wife was an illegal immigrant. She's Brazilian, but she came in illegally, and then became a resident in 2005.
Oh,
Yeah, his wife, who thought, you remember her. She was taking the pictures like, "Oh, I'm the senator."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
so
her.
that was the main gist of the thing. Yeah, let's where is this going? Is Fetterman going to become a Republican now? No, he's not.
No.
He is a I'm not going to say moderate, but he is I would say average lefty Democrat. He's not. He believes in the single payer system. He believes in the right to, she's pro-choice. He believes in all the gay and trans stuff. I'm not gonna even bother in getting into the other stuff. But let's move on to the I want to talk a little bit about the GOP debates, because um there's news now that apparently there are new polls that came out effectively saying, you know what, Haley is at 29%. She's rising in New Hampshire. She has the endorsement of
29.
Chris Sununu. Trump is at 44. Nikki Haley is at 29%. I believe that DeSantis is next with like 13 or something. Then it's Christie with 10, Vivek with 5, and Ada with 1.
Vivek with 5. Oh wow.
Yeah, in New Hampshire. This is in Iowa, New Hampshire. So Nikki Haley gains on Trump in New Hampshire while he continues
Ada's still
to
running? What the
dominate
hell?
in Iowa. Yeah, Ada's still here with 1%. That's good. So Trump 44, Haley
That's good.
29, DeSantis 11, 10 Christie, 5 Ramaswamy, and Hutchinson. In the Iowa caucus, Trump is at 58, DeSantis 22, Nikki Haley 13, Ramaswamy 4, Christie 3, Ada 1. Yeah, so Ada's still here, yeah.
Oh
I
man.
mean, people kind of forget, the whole country isn't MAGA country. New Hampshire, it is part of that New England Republican bloc, which is moderate. It's the problem that we have in New Jersey and in New York. The Republicans that are here, unfortunately, the majority of the so-called Republicans that are here are all very moderate. They're soft-spoken. They like high-educated. If they're Republicans, they're really more there because of they don't like the crime and they don't like the high taxes. But when you talk about things like economic nationalism, they're not here for it. That's not why they're here. They're not here.
No.
So, it's not like us that
Yeah,
we care about.
I've kind of noticed that, especially with New Jersey too.
So there have been these pretty much these comments that, hey, is Vivek, is Nikki Haley going to be the VP? And I have a video here of her pretty much, because now that she's risen up and she's been effectively blessed by the establishment. She's been going on interviews everywhere. So now we have to watch her. And she has had a very difficult time in the media distancing or separating herself from Trump. So a guy asked her, like, hey, why don't you go after Trump more? And she kind of just didn't know how to answer the question. And now here she is with Chris Sununu. Nobody gives a shit about him nationally, but he thinks so. Governor of New Hampshire. His father is a Trump guy, but he isn't, of course. And he endorsed Nikki Haley instead of Ron DeSantis, which Ron DeSantis cried about. Oh, it's so crazy. So Chris Sununu signed the DeSantis bus that's being ridden in New Hampshire, and he then endorsed
Okay.
Nikki Haley, which is hilarious. So let's listen to this.
What's up
interview
with the
right here.
switch?
And I think for Republicans, they're looking at the fact that, look, we've got to get this back on track. And they like the idea of a new generational leader. I agree with a lot of Trump's policies. I think he was the right president at the right time. But looking at the situation now, our country's in disarray, the world is on fire, and chaos follows him. And we can't have a country in chaos for 4 more years or we won't survive it.
I hear you say that a lot, chaos follows him. But is it chaos follows him, or does he create the chaos? I mean, that sounds so passive. Chaos follows him.
I mean, rightly or wrongly, you call it whatever you want to call it, but when you feel it, it's chaos. When I tell these rooms that, they all nod their head. They get it. It's the chaos. And Americans are tired. They want government to work for them again. And they want to win. And you look at these general election polls, and Biden and Trump are head to head. It's going to be another nail biter. I defeat Biden by 17 points.
For someone in New Hampshire where, it's not about big government, we loved the idea that he was going to drain the swamp. That was an amazing opportunity. Didn't even try. I mean, literally didn't even try. So if he talks about those issues, he has to kind of own those failures. So he's always going to talk about retribution and just kind of try to spur something up.
Yeah, I mean, buddy, you're a part of the swamp. I mean, we flush it
But
out.
where did it start? Oh yeah, I don't care.
You're gonna be down there. So, that shows her struggling. I mean, she doesn't have an idea. I mean, this idea that chaos follows Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna say it this way. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's funny she mentioned that Trump has a lot of good policies that she likes, but chaos follows him. And then the guy asked her, where did it start? And she didn't give out like a good answer for it. So it's like, yeah, where did it start? And why would you even say that?
That he's not asking that. He's saying that what he was saying was doesn't like not that it like when did it start is doesn't he start it? He's trying to say the guy asked the question, doesn't Trump start the chaos? Not that it follows him. One would say that he starts it, not that when did he start it.
Okay.
He's trying to say, yeah, he's not here defending Trump or defending. He's not. He's here to say that Trump is the chaos, and you're literally saying that it follows him. He's saying, in his view, that Trump is the chaos. It's completely ridiculous. All of it's ridiculous. But I'm just highlighting the attention she's now getting now that she's extremely popular or rising in the polls. And then there's also been talks of pretty much her being a potential. So the rumor started because Lara Trump, wife of Eric. God love you, dear, but just going on Newsmax and telling Eric Bolling that Trump might, I'm not going to deny Nikki Haley being the VP. Look, Trump called her bird brains. I don't think she's going to be the VP. Okay, Trump said that Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer. You're trying to tell me that he never even thought about Cruz being the VP? What's wrong with you? God love you, dear, but I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous. And yeah, even if because this is how this would work.
Bird brain, you're vice president.
This is how this would work. They're not going to tell you that she's going to be the nominee. They're going to leak it out and see what the reaction is. And so they're seeing this is what's happening right now. I'm sure Trump is seeing the reaction and saying, yeah, I'm not going to choose her. They're going to revolt because she has just rejected everything. She's a warmonger. She wants to send troops to Ukraine. She wants to send troops to Israel and Palestine. She has no problem with that. She's been out there saying she would start war with Iran. That is insane. Insane. She wants to start conflicts. She talks about chaos follows him. She wants to create more chaos in the name of saving democracy or whatever. And then talking about people want to go back to the days where government served them. What are you talking about? The days before Trump, we were being fucked by our government. We had a gay man as president and a trans dude as our first lady. What are you talking about? Go back to that. People need to remember what was the country like before Trump. Did we talk about the deep state before Trump? Nobody talked about the deep state before Trump. It was a conspiracy theory. He revealed everything, not through what he said and what he did. It was by what he was and what he threatened, what he as a person and what his agenda threatened to the government, to the establishment. That's how we saw that the deep state was real. That's how I saw it was real, because they have been trying every month to get rid of him, and that's what I saw. So it's just completely ridiculous. And we see people like we've seen it. I've seen I'm gonna put this video here of Tucker Carlson here with for the guys at Timcast at Freedom Fest on
Tucker for VP.
Yeah, Tucker for VP is interesting. I don't think he would do it. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he views himself as being capable of it. But here he is.
Someone asked me, would you vote for Trump if he chose Nikki as VP? And
would you guys vote for Trump? Well, that's the question that I asked you specifically.
Well, I would not only not vote for that ticket, I would advocate against it as strongly as I could.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's just poison. I mean, here's someone who's actively opposed to the interests of the country I grew up in, who endorsed the BLM riots, and who is not only is not left, but is neoliberal in the darkest, most, speaking of nihilistic way, and has no real popular support. Is a creature of the oligarchs. So yeah, that would be reason to oppose the ticket.
Yeah, no, he's right. I mean, it's just opposed to everything we believe in. It's not what we would want. Why would he ever choose that? So I don't think he's gonna. I really don't think he's going to. Let me just put this here. I think this is. Oh, he's also talking about. I'm going to talk about the DeSantis. Watching DeSantis flail in New Hampshire is completely satisfying. It's satisfying to me. I love it. I love that. And he's been talking about, and he's going to talk here about DeSantis and just how that campaign's just been a complete flop.
Can I just ask a question, since you all are so on the internet and like I'm not that much? You really get the sense that Ron DeSantis, who I liked as governor, the people who represent him online are the nastiest, the stupidest, and the most zero-sum people I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think that reflects him, but it's like, this is kind of small ball. And by the way, these purported conservatives, Ron DeSantis changed his view, and I like him, okay? I think he's been a good governor. I just want to be clear about that. I know him personally, I like him. But his donor, Ken Griffin, told him to change his view on Ukraine from it's a regional conflict we shouldn't get involved in to it's a super important thing, we should send more money. One donor got him to change his view, and all these so-called conservatives are supporting that like it's the most important thing ever. Like, who are these people, and what is their problem? Like, what is going on with them?
It does reflect on Ron, because Ron should have fired the people running his campaign a long time ago. Look, I respect that he wanted to launch his campaign on X, on Twitter Spaces at the time, and it failed miserably. This is a mistake. And now you've got, look, I know a lot of people groan, but a lot of people laugh. The high heels, boots scandal. I mean, who's giving this guy advice, and why does he keep taking it? Because I will say it politically and policy-wise, we love Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
He's done an amazing job.
I agree.
But his campaign is a train wreck.
Yeah. I've been saying that from the damn beginning. You get all these people on Twitter bitching about like, oh, but he's a better governor than. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? See, what did I say last time? I have high expectations because when you tell me he's going to be a generational leader, I need to see it. I want to be led. You're going to lead me.
Yeah.
I want to be led. You're going to tell me you're going to bring generational change, but when I see you in a complete dud, you just flame out. That's a complete disappointment. And I've been saying it. But you know what the reason is, right? His wife runs the campaign. So he can't do anything. And his wife wants to be the next Hillary Clinton. And that's what's going to happen.
Dirty.
You would be completely content.
Well, I do agree with Tim when he said that like his own people are the one that are just telling him the wrong things. He should fire them.
Yeah, but he can't. I just said why he can't. His wife runs the campaign. That's why. His wife runs the campaign.
Other people too won't be. It's not just his wife; it's other people too. That's up on his ears telling him what to do.
No. His wife runs the campaign, meaning that she is the top caller. She calls the shots. He listens to her. He defers to her.
Runs a bitch.
She calls the shot. Yeah, well, he's just a cuckold. That's the reality. I've been saying it from the beginning. He is a complete disappointment. It's a complete train wreck. That campaign, when he launched on Twitter to make a statement because Elon Musk, by the way, Ron DeSantis gave Elon Musk a sweet deal to come to Florida. He did that. He gave him a deal protecting him he gave him a free deal protecting him of freedom of speech. He gave him protected speech in Florida. That's what he did. So X wouldn't be sued in Florida. They got a deal for protected speech and etc. And then then Ron DeSantis goes on the platform and announces his campaign, which was a complete flop. It crashed.
Oh. Wow.
The most organized presidential campaign. You remember that. This isn't new to you.
Yeah.
The most organized presidential campaign flopped on day one because they can't get an announcement ready, and everybody was like, "This is the threat," and I was like, "This is the threat to Trump." No, it's not. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be easy. This is completely ridiculous. It's not real. His fans aren't real." I haven't seen one DeSantis fan in real life, but they're everywhere on Twitter, and he's right. They're some of the nastiest, zero-sum, talentless hacks I've ever met in my life. I mean, I get people that are triggered. They're just pathetic, and they're rewriting history to make it seem that DeSantis was a political star before Trump even came along. Nobody knew who Ron DeSantis was.
Nobody. I didn't know who he was.
Nobody knew who he was, and I'm into politics. I had no idea who he was because he was an obscure congressman from Daytona, Florida. That's what he was, and he tells these stories about how nobody in his district knew who he was when he was. He said it on the Patrick Bet-David show. I'm like, what is wrong? Why would you tell this story? The stories he tells make no sense. And I'm sitting there saying, Ron, you're a young man, but you talk like as if you were raised in the 1950s. Two, why are you dressing with jeans and boots all the damn time and wearing a suit coat? I don't get that either. Three, you were a baseball captain at Yale. You served in the Army, even though you were just a lawyer. You didn't serve in actual combat. You should have stories. I've been listening to people who served in the Army and in special forces on YouTube shorts and IG reels and those podcasts that are out there, of guys who serve.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, what they miss is the camaraderie. That's a big thing of not the biggest thing they miss, but that's a big portion of what they miss.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't DeSantis talk about that? But you know what it is? I gave you this analogy last time. He's the star quarterback of the team who's really good at his job on the field, but when he gets off the field, he's completely boring. He's talking about library books and city ordinances, and he's saying, he's talking about, the WEF, they're trying to reset the whole civilization. It's like Ron, we're going to a frat house. Shut the fuck up.
Oh man.
Like he walks into a house and he's like, "Oh wow, what type of painting do you use? Is this up to code? Is your plumbing up to code?" Like, Ron, we're at a party. Shut the hell up.
Mhm.
But that's him. That's just what he is. He was, and it's like, dude, I just don't. It's completely disappointing because again, I'm having high expectations. See, I don't have these expectations for Vivek Ramaswamy or Nikki Haley. You know why? Because nobody told me that they would be generational leaders of a conservative movement. They did.
Yeah.
He did. He, his wife, and his team did, who are unsufferable. They did. I never assumed it. I'm just taking what they said. And they are complete disappointments. Incredibly disappointing.
Right. Yeah.
Incredibly
Well,
disappointing.
well, in the long future, I don't think that he's going to win anything if his wife is going to be running the show. We should honestly call it Bootgate with his high heels.
Yeah, well, that's what the name is, Bootgate or Heelgate, one of these two. I think it's Heelgate because he has heels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, just that the inability to handle that. And Patrick talked about. Remember when Trump in 2016, everybody was like, "Oh, that's fake hair. That's fake hair. That's fake hair." And he was on Jimmy Fallon. What did Jimmy Fallon do? He went like this. Yeah,
Rubbed his hair out. Yeah.
yeah. And Trump, I'm sure, wasn't that happy, but he looked happy when he did it. He was like laughing and.
Yeah, he had to be out to do it for the fans, for the people.
So it's not for the fans. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna show that I'm a real person.
Yeah, right.
So Patrick gives him these boots, and he's just like, I can't take vows. No, I can't take gifts. I can't take gifts. It's like, Rob.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Yeah.
Rob, what is going? Dude, play around. Take off your, joke around. Show off. Hey, I got a new pair of boots, guys. They don't have heels in them.
Except the
Joke
gift. Wait, how come
around.
he can't? How come he can't take the gifts?
Because he's a state official and doesn't want to be seen as he's getting bribed. Buddy, we all know you're getting bribed. Anyways, the point is that
Weird.
joke around, have fun with it. Trump had fun around with the hair thing.
No.
He had fun. Have fun with it. Chris Christie, he had fun with the weight thing. He had fun with it. We all joke about it. He had fun with it.
Actually, yeah, he did.
He did. He's not. He
didn't bitch that much.
No, he didn't
with
bitch
the
that
weight
much.
thing.
Come on now, guys. Like, this is completely ridiculous. Like, like when we attacked Joe Biden over the Doug Brandon thing. They tried turning that into a meme. They tried turning that into a meme. That's how. Hey, have fun with yourself. Remember when someone called into the Joe and Jill Christmas thing or New Year's phone call, the radio show, and I was like, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think Joe Biden said
he was
something
like, yeah, exactly. Let's go, Brandon. Something like that.
It's either one. He's dementia and he has no idea who Brandon is or who the hell he is, or maybe he's fucking around. He's joking around.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like, yes, the fact that 80-year-old Joe Biden has more charisma than Ron DeSantis is incredibly horrible. That should tell you everything to me.
Yeah,
that says it all. That says it all. It's completely disappointing. Yeah, so I had some. I think I had some remaining videos here that I want to post about. Pretty much that is. So this is Trump. I think recently in New Hampshire, just what he was trying to say. I think about. So it's not a second clip, so we'll just talk about it. These are referring to the.
You know that? While the stock market is making rich people richer, Biden's inflation catastrophe is demolishing your savings and ravaging your dreams.
He's right. He's right. Isn't he?
Yeah, he is destroying my savings.
Yeah, destroyed all of our savings. And then this
I don't save much like I used to anymore.
Our president is talking at. These are the things that the message and also the person, they matter. So
We grew the conservative movement into a working people's movement, and we transformed the Republican Party into the working people's party. And we are never, ever going back. We've increased our size massively. We're winning areas now that we never thought possible. I think we're going to have a tremendous 22. We had a tremendous 20, but bad things happened. Very, very bad things happened. And we're going to have a great, great 24. But we have to watch the vote counters. Our movement must continue to pursue a populist, nationalist, economic agenda that puts working families before globalist politicians and woke multinational corporations who are mentally ill in many cases. They're sick.
I mean, it's the messenger and the way he presents the message, and also the actions. Like the actions, his agenda speaks for his time as president speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
It speaks for itself. But then what Rob can't do is talk. He can't talk off the script, or when he does talk off the script, it's bland as he always is. Like his scripts are the same way he talks.
Yeah, right.
Like
Trump is a bit more different. Most of his times his messages are insanely clear. Like everyone understands.
Everyone understands. He's talking to the normal person because he's built a movement. Like we were talking about Fetterman.
Yeah.
This is economic nationalism, populism, just for the working class people. He's protecting the working class that move the country, the people that that cook breakfast at the diners, the people that ship the products, the truck drivers, the cooks, the waiters, the nurses, the teachers, the technicians. All of those people coming together. That's the movement he's trying to build. Ron DeSantis doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about the movement. Right. He talks about Florida. In Florida, it's completely disappointing. Completely disappointing, and that's why I think it's going to be difficult for him to just maintain himself, to keep going in the Republican primary. I don't see it's not a sustainable campaign anymore. If Nikki Haley outdoes the Ron DeSantis in Iowa, I don't think he gets to Nevada.
Is he at least number 2 in any states?
He's at number 2 in Iowa as of now. So the ones that matter, I'm just looking at the ones that matter for right now. Florida's two-way out, and he's losing in Florida by like 30 points to Trump, and that's your home state.
Yeah, that is your home state.
But I'm not really looking at that yet. I'm looking at the first 4. I'm looking at Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina, and he's not winning in any of those.
Mm-hmm.
He's losing. He's second, and he's losing by at least 20 points in each one, and it's worse in New Hampshire, of course, and it's not good in Iowa. So, we're going to end this with vice presidential. We're going to end this episode with the vice presidential candidates. So we've already ruled out Nikki Haley. Ron DeSantis, forget about it. I've been looking at more, since it's coming up, we're all posting ideas on Twitter next. Everybody's talking about ideas. I've ruled out before. We've talked about this before, but I'm just going to keep an updated segment of it. I don't want Nikki Haley, and I don't want Ron DeSantis. That's not going to happen. I like Byron Donalds, but that just can't happen because Trump is running from Florida, and Byron Donalds lives in Florida. So the Constitution prevents 2 people from the same state on the same ticket.
Okay. Right.
Trump DeSantis would never happen. Trump Byron Donalds could never happen unless Trump had run from New Jersey or New York like he did the first time.
I know Vivek doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, Vivek says he doesn't want to do it, but I think Vivek would be a great cabinet secretary in some capacity. I'm looking at. I told you who my pick is. Ben Carson. I think Ben Carson is a fantastic pick. Fantastic pick.
Yeah, I did saw a lot of people who are pushing more into Ben Carson. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Ben Carson at all.
I think Ben Carson would be a fantastic pick. I'll just post some. I'll show some things right here. I mean, I'm going to show some videos here of what Ben Carson was saying here at the. But he's a fantastic pick. I think I don't want Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is. I don't want her. They've been looking at.
She's too inexperienced.
Yeah, she's also not won any elections. I get it. I get they're saying they stole it, etc. But look,
Trump likes winners.
No, exactly. They're looking at at least Stefanik, the New York congresswoman. I think she was the one who went off on the college professors, on the college presidents, on the Ivy League.
Oh, her?
Presidents, yeah, her.
Okay.
And So I'm gonna like post this. I want to play this video of Ben Carson real quick because I think what he said here was completely. It's a concept that leftists can't handle. They don't like. I think this would be ideal for us to look at real quick. And this is a big reason why I think he's good because he's articulate on these issues. He's experienced and he's good and he's loyal. And he's also not going to outshadow Trump, which is what we don't want. So this is a good pick right here.
No,
I think this would be a good pick right here. Sponsored by Turning Point.
we don't want a second Trump.
Well, you don't want two alphas in the room. You can't have that. A flag carrier would be good. And not to say that Ben Carson isn't an alpha. I mean, in the surgery, he obviously is an alpha, but those are those right
Right.
there.
Yeah.
They came from England, they came from France, they came from Africa, they came from Sweden, they came from India. You're better off here than you would be where they came from.
I can barely hear him.
And, there was a time in our history where racism was rampant. Okay, but in my lifetime, time that I've been alive, it has changed dramatically. When I was 6 years old, I went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I saw signs, whites only, coloreds only, and they explained to me what this was all about. In the same lifetime, we have black admirals and generals and CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and heads of foundations and university presidents. And we've had a president of the United States and a vice president, although you don't see her. So, I mean, that really represents a very significant change in a short period of time. And if our country was all that bad, why are these people trying to get in it? And when they get here, wouldn't they call their relatives and say, don't come here, this is a horrible place? This is not what we're seeing. We're seeing they're still flooding in record numbers. And that tells you that we have something that is worth fighting for and something that's worth preserving.
Bingo. I mean,
Actually, no, yeah, I would not mind Ben Carson at all.
I've always been a fan of Ben Carson, and
Yeah, Ben Carson's good, man. Yeah.
just to clarify the history, remember, DeSantis has come out this week saying that if Trump loses the Iowa caucus somehow to Ron DeSantis, he'll say that it was rigged because you don't remember this, but back in 2016, Ted Cruz won the Iowa caucus, but Ben Carson was second, and it was only because the Ted Cruz campaign sent out illegally sent out misinformation to the Carson supporters saying, don't come to this place, go to this other place, something along those lines, and they caused Carson to lose. And Trump was the only one with balls to call it out and say he cheated. And so DeSantis is trying to recreate history, say that, oh, Trump was bitching about losing the election. No, he was defending Carson. I remember this. He was defending Carson because Cruz.
Didn't he say that in one of the debates? I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, he's mentioned it before, and
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
that was the reason why. So I just want to clear that up. He and by the way, Carson never went after Trump in the debates. They were always friendly. When they talked about the vaccines and the autism, and the CNN lady was like, "You're the doctor here, Dr. Carson. Is Trump right?" And he was like, So he would be good. He's not wrong. And Trump was like, oh, Trump liked that response. He was like, oh, good answer. Like they've had a friendly report, and you saw it. He was rewarded by that.
Mm-hmm.
He was a secretary of the HUD.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he would be better served as the Health and Human Services because he is a doctor. He would know more about that. But
that'd be nice.
HUD is good too.
We don't need any more fat people running that shit.
I mean, skinny people aren't going to make a difference. You need to be like a manager to run the department, not but he would be better off understanding the information. So I thought that he would be a good choice. They're looking at Elise Stefanik, who was the woman who did the Ivy League. She was the woman who grilled the Ivy League presidents, caused the Ivy Penn one to
She could be one of them.
I don't like her because she's too attached to the establishment. She had a very quick rise when she got in. As soon as she got in, she rose to the top very quickly. When McCarthy was the speaker, she was like the number 2, number 3 Republican in the House. I just don't trust that too much. I think she would be weak. I think she wouldn't be able to withstand the fire. She's also very young. I just don't think she's up to it. I think she's 40 or 39 or 38. I don't think she's like past 45. She's 39 years old.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
So 39 years old, and you look, I mean, good choice, but I don't think she's up to it. I don't think she's a true MAGA economic nationalist, American nationalist, populist candidate. I don't think she is. I think Ben Carson fits a good mold. I know that he's older, and I get he'll be too old for 2028, but by that time we should have better candidates molded. I think a sleeper pick for president in 2028 is JD Vance. I really like JD Vance. JD Vance would be a very good pick
he
for
could be a
Senate.
good pick. You know me, I would like to go see Mark Robinson, but I'd rather see him do governor first. And
Well, he has to be. He can't be president if he's not.
yeah,
president.
right.
Mark Robinson would be a very good pick for
Mark
president in
Robinson would be a
2028.
good pick. Yeah.
We just need him to win in 2024, and I think he will because he is a firebrand politician.
I kind of want to ask you that. It's a different topic, but like, what are some things that he can do to win that race, and what he shouldn't do? Should he be a number two? Like, should it be a Trump 2.0 or stick with his own brand?
No, he has his own brand. He already has his brand. That's why
Okay.
he's won a race already, so he's well known. People know him. He's the lieutenant governor of the state, so people know who he is.
Mhm.
He has recognition in North Carolina. So I think what he has to do is stick to him, go out, talk, spread your message out. And I think he's doing that. Spread your message out. I mean, we saw some ads by him, and I'm gonna post them now because I really
Yeah, I just saw.
ads right
Yeah.
here. I'm gonna share them here so we can watch them real quick. But I think he would be a tremendous presidential candidate. Just to wrap up the vice presidential
agree.
GOP
Yep.
topic. But I think he'd be a tremendous candidate here. So let's look at these videos right here.
There's some things in life you can't forget. For me, one of them is this tree in front of my childhood home. You see, I grew up poor here in Greensboro, the 9th of 10 children. We had no phone, no air conditioning, no car. What we did have was an alcoholic father who beat my mother. Despite all that, he was still my father, someone we counted on. When I was in the 5th grade, my father died. My mother had a choice: kick her feet up and live off the government, or get a job. My mom took her 5th grade education and walked across the street and got a job at a university. She cleaned up after other people's children to provide for her own. She told me to dream. She told me with faith and hard work, I could achieve anything. She was so right.
History made in the Tar Heel state last night.
Who exactly is Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson?
I'm the majority. I do. I stand before you today as the first black lieutenant governor of North Carolina. Served in the military. I've worked in furniture plants. I've been a general manager for a restaurant chain. And I owned a small business with my wife. As a factory worker, I made good money. Until NAFTA hit. I lost my job not once, but twice. My wife and I faced these tough times as we worked to raise a young family with 2 wonderful children. Like so many of you, we know the gnawing feeling you get from worrying about money, how it keeps you up at night as your children sleep. I've lost my car, my home, and was forced into bankruptcy. Like you, I don't need a politician to tell me what to be worried about. It's obvious. We know the price of gas and groceries and childcare is outrageous. We know too many children can't read on a grade level, that they've been failed by an education bureaucracy that's leaving them unprepared for life once they graduate. And sadly, we know our teachers aren't respected and aren't treated or paid as the professionals that they are. We know the shuttered factories like the ones I've worked for have left scars all over the small towns of North Carolina. We also know that our police departments are struggling, that they can't fill their ranks because we are demonizing the men and women in blue. North Carolina doesn't need more slick politicians who use work boots and Carhartt jackets as props in TV ads. They're just pretending to be one of us. You see, it doesn't take an Ivy League education to understand the problems we're facing. What it takes is somebody with a backbone and a vision who cares about serving instead of climbing the political ladder. I'm running for governor because we deserve to be represented by someone who's actually lived like us. Someone who wants to serve, not rule. I don't care about the zip code you live in, the size of your paycheck, whether you're black, white, straight, or gay. None of those things should determine your future or your child's future. No one should have to choose between paying for medicine or making a trip to the grocery store. And our streets should be safe, and so should our schools. These issues shouldn't be Republican or Democrat issues. They should be the issues that transcend the gridlock of our capital. If history teaches us anything, it's that Americans don't run from trouble. We run towards it. Now it's our time to stand up and make history, so that kids who grew up in uncertainty like I did, that they have a chance to succeed, and that they know that they live in North Carolina, a state where anything is possible. Someday you and I will be gone, and I don't want my family to see a picture of me and wonder why I didn't fight for them. I want my children and grandchildren to know that I did everything I could. That's what I'm fighting for, and that's why I'm running for governor. Will you join me?
Yeah,
I'll join you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. That was an excellent video.
Yeah, it was a good one. I liked that one definitely because he also brought up his stories as well, where he came from.
This is his story.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
his
that
story.
is a story right there. Yeah,
And his talent is he can clearly articulate without any fear, without any worry. I mean, we've seen videos of him just debating on the gay topic, debating on the.
yeah, right.
We've seen that. That's back and forth, and I'll try to show one real quick.
It's a
But
classic from him.
yeah, it's a classic of him saying, I don't, want to talk about the gay and the. Yeah, here's one real quick about him, but yeah, it was just him. He spreads his message because he's lived it. I mean, he's lived a normal life. He's not a guy who's grew up wealthy. He's not a guy who grew up in the upper class. He grew up like you and I. He grew up in a family with a humble, modest, just background. He wasn't wealthy. He wasn't privileged. He didn't go to the best universities. He served our country in the army. He's lived. He knows what it's like. Have to pay your bills and worry about, how am I going to pay my bill if I got fired and my company, the factory I work at, shut down and it's not even my fault. No, it's nobody's fault it shut down. But then there's politicians coming to our communities and saying, well, it is your fault because your communities are poor. They're filled with crime. The education is low. But then you sit back and say, wait a second, but that's your fault because you did that to us. You flooded our streets with drugs. You made our schools ugly and bad. You degraded our curriculums. And you made policies that made these factories leave. Just the way everyone can relate to that. That's a nationwide issue. We've seen the de-industrialization of this country. Places like Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, Michigan, Wisconsin. That's why the Trump message spoke so vibrantly and so just stung deep into people's hearts because they saw it. He was saying things that they lived. And they were saying, wait a second. This guy who lives in a palace in a skyscraper in the sky, he has a penthouse in the sky in New York City, sees and knows the things we went through. Well, he's saying the exact same thing because he lived it. So his authenticity, he doesn't have to be Trump. He's himself. He's a guy who served our military, who's firm, who's Christian, he's decisive. He's not afraid to say what he believes in. And he's not afraid to push back on the lies being spread. That's what you want. And so what he's doing is going everywhere, talking to all news outlets. He has no fear. He doesn't care if he goes to CNN or the local CNBC outlet or the local Fox outlet. He's going everywhere. He talks to the Riley newspaper. He talks to everybody he can because he's not afraid. I just want to post this classic video before we wrap up of him pretty much. This was him I think in a church, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah.
It's this one. Yeah, it's classic.
Here's something else I'm not supposed to say. Ain't but two genders. Two genders.
You had the background.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing but men and women. And I can already see WRL out there. They licking their pencils right now, trying to write fiercest as they can. Get every word of this here. Get every word of this. You can go to the doctor and get cut up. You can go down to the dress shop and get made up. You can go down there and get drugged up. But at the end of the day, you were just a drugged up, dressed up, made up, cut up, man or woman. You ain't changed what God put in you, that DNA. You can't transcend God's creation. I don't care how hard you try. The transgender movement in this country, if there's a movement in this country that is demonic and that is full of the spirit of Antichrist, it is the transgender movement. It's time for grown-ups and time for Christians to start standing up and being unafraid to tell the truth. Yeah. Come after me if you want to. I don't care. You want my head? Here it is right here. Come on, come get it. I don't care because it's time for us to stand up. Now, I'm not afraid to stand up and tell the truth about that issue. They're dragging our kids down into the pit of hell, trying to teach them that mess in our schools. Tell you like this, that ain't got no place at no school. 2 + 2 don't equal transgender. It equals 4. You need to get back to teaching them how to read instead of teaching them how to go to hell. Yeah, I said it and I mean it.
Dude, man, I think you would want to send me that when
yeah.
I think this was a couple years ago, maybe. I know it's after COVID. Dude, when I first saw him, I'm like, yo, I love his energy so much. That's what I want. Not Ron, not the way he talks. I want Mark Robinson right there.
We want him. You know, they're unafraid. They don't talk in lingos. They don't talk in Florida. They don't talk.
Yeah, exactly. It's out there easily. It's out there.
We see it. Call it out. He's calling out what's wrong. But this is the thing. He's not focused on a negative. He's not focused on the negative. He's saying, this is what's wrong, but we have a path to go forward. And when you hear Ron, everything you hear about is, oh, this, that's bad, this is bad, that's bad, that's bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. 10,000 things is bad. And then in Florida, it's good. It's like, yeah, but buddy, we can't all move to Florida. Sell me a vision for the future. Sell me a vision for the next 20, 30, 50 years of what America can be, because that's what Trump sells us. That's what they talk about, the future. What did Mark Robinson say at the end of that video? He's a disciple of, let's say, the MAGA movement that Trump created, not Ron DeSantis. Trump created MAGA. Nobody was saying make America great again in 2015, except for him. Nobody was talking about America first in 2015, 2016, except for Trump. Mark Robinson, a disciple of that movement, what did he say at the end of that video? When I'm old, I don't want my grandchildren or my children saying, why didn't you fight for this? This is a movement that's focused on laying out a future culture, a society that believes in two genders, that believes in protecting your community, that believes in taking drugs off the streets, that believes in a good education system, etc. etc.
Right. No, I agree.
I don't hear Ron talking about that. For the leader of a future movement, I don't hear it. I like Robinson. We endorse him here For the Republic, and hell, I'm waiting for 2028 even. I'm projecting out there. This is my guy for 2028.
If he goes for 2028, go for him, man.
He needs to win. He needs to win this year for North Carolina, and he needs to be the governor for the 4 years. And I hope if he does run for the presidency, or maybe he'll be the vice president for somebody in 2028. Tremendous choice. You have a tremendous patriot next to you.
He's got it.
He would be a tremendous leader for this country. He's unafraid. He's unabashed, and he represents a lot of people out there that feel these things and are looking for a warrior on that stage to go to Washington and say, you guys are effing things up. We don't stand for this. That's him. Unafraid, undecisive, uncut, unfiltered. That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and he's not
I
looking
agree
to
with you on
offend
that.
you. He's just telling you the truth. And if the truth offends you, that's on you.
That's on you.
That's
That
on you.
definitely is on you.
That's on you. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I hope you enjoy all of our clips, all our episodes. Join us on Twitter. And if you really want to help us out, join us on Patreon. $5 a month. You'll see our we have, old content there, but just $5 a month would really help us go a long way. Really appreciate your help. Hope you guys like this episode, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.